Let's face it, working with volunteers in your production system can be a challenge. So how do you plan a production system that volunteers can work with? My name is Chad. I'm with TakeOne Broadcast Solutions here in Nashville, Tennessee. And today we're back with my good friend, Tyler Hurst. Tyler comes from the church media world at Long Hollow Baptist, and he's a broadcast professional. He has a lot of experience, not just with working with volunteers, but in planning church production systems that he and his volunteers can work with cohesively. And he's going to help us answer those exact questions today. So let's get right into it. We would be remiss to not talk a little bit about managing volunteers, not just trying to pick people from your congregation or to serve, and not just maybe even hiring freelancers or skill technicians. But I think as you're starting to plan out your church system, maybe picking the right equipment is going to help you based off of what your volunteers are going to be. Maybe this is sometimes where Blackmagic kind of makes sense because it is basic in some of its operations. And it doesn't take as much depth of knowledge and stuff as some other products. You're going to have to start selecting your equipment based off that. So you might not be able to have a big audio console. It might just be a little something off to the side and a little, auto camera shading and maybe running PTZs. There are so many things that you're going to have to consider. And I think volunteers after budget is probably the next big one. What do you think?
I agree. I think you do have to keep that in mind. Big time is who's going to be running this stuff. But also, I will say this, we put in a pretty intricate system at Long Hollow, and our volunteers run it really well. So don't discount your volunteers as well, because you can train them on it. But also it's if you know that your volunteers are running every single thing, then maybe we do need to look at some things of you may not have anybody who is the main lead video guy. And so we may need to bring it down a few notches and simplify it a little bit.
Right.
Make sure that it fits your mold.
Yes.
And the people that you have around you and just your church's culture.
And it's not just technical knowledge as well. I mean, sometimes you just are limited on the people that you can bring in. You don't have a budget to hire freelancers and so forth. I attended a church for many years that, the media side was not a huge part of it, but it was a presence there. We just did not have camera operators, but literally there was one guy down in the basement that had all the feeds, and he switched, and he had all PTZ cameras.
Yeah.
So they all had presets. He had his own console with an audio split, so he could actually adjust the sound to make it sound okay. He was directing and switching. He was running graphics. And I mean, I don't recommend this to anybody, but it's just a reality. Maybe some of you guys are facing that reality.
Yeah.
It can be done, but you have to be very selective about what you pick to make sure that you can do that and that you can fit it in an operating position.
Well, and honestly, make sure that what you get can be used with Stream Deck. Because that has gotten
Stream Deck,
that has gotten me out of a lot of situations where it's just me. But also, I would say this with volunteers: don't be afraid of the young guys.
Yes.
Students in student ministry are hungry. They want, this is where they live. They live in technology. They are very innovative with the way they do things.
You and I were there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's we all started in that, but it's I think there is sometimes of well, let's don't let them on the gear because they're going to get in there and they're going to mess some things up. And it's I mean, they could
let them mess some things up sometimes. Let people make mistakes. That's the only way.
I learned engineering by getting in there and messing things up.
Yeah.
That's how I learned how to get myself out of it. I would get myself in a pickle and then be oh, I've got to figure this out before we have a service at 7:00 tonight.
Exactly. And I learned a lot this way. I was fortunate to be able to work at a production house that was able to let me just go and play with the gear and stuff. A lot of it I did on my own time because I wanted to learn. To your point, I would advise you guys to look within, find those young people. I mean, even early teens, and find those that seem interested. If they ask questions about what you're doing, they seem to have a spark in their eye when they see the cameras or your stuff. Don't miss that opportunity because that might be the best resource that you have. That might be the person that's going to take over that one day when you're ready to step down. Volunteers are very valuable and they're hard to come by.
Yeah. I just thought about this, Chad. I was at Church of the Highlands. We went and did a visit there, which I love the guys there. They're so fun. They have a guy that literally, he kind of is at front of house. And when someone comes by and is just kind of looking at the equipment, he just, engages with them and hey, what do you think about that? Is this something you'd like to do? He's looking for the people who are just looking. So it's there's so many times I'll see people just come and just kind of look. And it's if you can engage with those people, if they're interested enough to look, they may be interested enough to do it. If you're having trouble, finding a lot of volunteers, it's I'm very introverted. And so I may
You
not
gotta-
come up and like walk up and be like, hey, I want to run that. If someone came up and like started a conversation with me, I'm maybe way more interested in jumping in there,
Right.
and being like, actually, yeah, I would actually like to do that. If you are a production director and you're blessed to have a lot of volunteers, take some time to maybe take a Sunday and step back and just kind of watch how it's all working, and then maybe you'll see those people, you know, that are kind of stopping by and being like, oh, cool. Well, maybe, hey, would you like to do this one day? You know, just, you know, have those conversations.
You know, one thing I think is getting older myself, and yes, it's happening. I was the kid, you know, I was always the kid and I had great ideas. And now I'm older, a little set in my ways, and it just happens. I'll give you an example. Being a Gen Xer, it's like still have a very hard time accepting videos that are vertical. I have to get over myself. I'm just the old guy now. But you have to listen to the people with newer ideas that are more relevant into the audience that you're trying to reach for your ministry. So again, take your pride, take your old school ways of thinking if you're an older guy like me, and listen to maybe some of the young guys that have ideas, because their ideas might be the exact thing that your church needs to make your ministry more relevant. Well, friends, we have one more video in this series with Tyler Hurst. Next time, we'll be talking some advanced audio information and a little bit more about lighting. So make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss that content. And if you want to deep dive with us personally, reach out to us at mail@takeone.tv or call us at 1-877-81-TakeOne. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next one.